Welcome back to TeamTibbett. In today's adventure, join Josh as he embarks on a thrilling journey deep into the heart of the Australian outback. His quest? To uncover a hidden creek that's rumored to be teeming with blue claw yabbies. With the rugged terrain and wild landscapes of the outback as his backdrop, Josh faces both the beauty and the challenges of this remote wilderness. Will he find the elusive yabbies and bring home a legendary catch? Tune in as we explore the secrets of the Australian outback and follow Josh on this extraordinary quest.
Welcome back. First trip of the season. It's still getting a little cool at night. The other night was actually down to 3 degrees, which is probably too cold. But I've brought 5 traps with me. I'm not actually going to set any lines straight away because it is still fairly early. I'm going to wait for it to warm up a bit. I think the plan's going to be, we'll get a few traps in, let them soak for, I reckon, probably at least a few good hours, and hopefully some yabbies come out to play. I've come out to this spot today because the bloody wind has come up. I've put today aside to come out and set the traps and have a bit of a go. I was going to go out west to another spot that I know does have good yabbies, just to see whether they're out yet. But with this wind, it's going to be absolutely impossible out there. So I've come in here and it's worked out perfectly. You can hear the wind in the trees absolutely howling. I've got to be a bit careful in this thick stuff because trees like this dead one here do have a habit of coming down. But it's absolutely nice down here. It's so bloody thick out there. This little area in here is absolutely protected. One thing I did want to try was the water temperature, and it is still cold. That is really cold. So they might be a bit doughy today. I'm thinking they're going to be a little bit slow. That's why we'll leave the traps for at least a good 4 hours, probably 5, I reckon. And for bait today, I've got a heap of pork skin here, and there is a chicken carcass mixed in with it. It's just a Woolies roast chicken that we've stripped all the meat off. There's still a bit of the seasoning from the guts in there, which I reckon will let out a lot of smell. What I'll do is I'll just mix all that up, get it all nice and flavoured. Oh, that actually smells pretty good. It smells like a roast chicken. It actually smells nice. We'll grab a nice little handful of goodness. Nice little mix in there of the chicken, pork skin. See if we can't hear the click. It means she's clicked down. And I really want to spread these traps right out, I think. So the first trap, right out in the middle, and that's plenty deep enough. And I was going to get some new ropes, put on these traps over winter, but I didn't. You can still see there's heaps of knots, tangles. At least I know the good old trusty ropes still work. Trap number 3, we'll go out near this log, and the mosquitoes here are coming out and starting to attack me. But what I wanted to show you was, I don't know how good it's going to make out, but there's a massive yabbie hole right there. Looks like something's been active in there too. So hopefully that's a good sign. I think what I'm going to want to do is get out past that grass and stuff. You can see the grass and stuff here. We've had a really wet winter, which has absolutely primed all these creeks and dams up for a great summer. So hopefully we're going to have a good one. I've just been walking along the bank and checked this out for a prime example. Have a look at that. Now you wouldn't think a yabbie would build a hole this high up, but I'm almost certain that's what it is. I'm not going to stick my finger in there to find out, but he's probably got a big cave in there. Bloke should bring a line back and dangle a line down in there. So I reckon we might as well take it as a good omen. Oh, I don't know whether that one would have gone upside down or not. I just ran out of rope. I think it was all right, but I don't want to set my trap upside down. Be a bit of a bum move. We'll go again. Yeah, perfect. The last trap, we might as well bring it all the way around, right down to the far end. And I'm just having a look, see if I can see much sign of yabbie holes along the edge here, which I can't, but the water's so high, well, there is actually, there's yabbie holes all along here. I think we'll go to this big old dead tree because they've given me luck before. If I've got enough rope to go out past this grass and stuff, or should I just put it down here in amongst all the grass and stuff? See how deep it is. I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to set that one a little bit shallow. Heaps of dead grass around, nice thick bank, big old tree. I've always had luck near these big old trees. I really don't like leaving these traps for any longer than an hour or two. But I think given how cold it is, I think we'll just leave them, come back in about 4 hours. It's actually 9 AM now. I think we're going to leave it till after lunch, if I can help myself. I couldn't help myself. I was cruising down the road and I've passed this little puddle and it actually looks pretty good. I had a bit of string floating around in the ute and a little bit of meat left over. So I thought I might as well pull up and throw a line in. And look what's happened in about 30 seconds. I think we have something and it feels heavy. I'll get yous on the head mount, which I don't like that much because I don't know whether yous are in the frame or not. And the only thing that I brought, well, the only scoop that I brought, bloody thing, is this little old beaten up red scoop that's been floating around in the ute for probably a year and a half, but definitely got one. Oh yes, straight in the scoop, you little beauty. And he's not a monster, but he's definitely a good eating size. Let's have a look at him. I'll get a bit of water in the bucket. Where is he? Making an escape already. Oh, look at that. Absolute little beauty. He's definitely not a monster by anyone's standards, but he's not small either. Probably the perfect eating size. Well, not really a perfect eating size. Perfect eating size, twice the size of that for me. But he's nice and clean, and he's definitely a start. First yabbie of the season. So we'll get this line back out. I've probably got it too long, but that'll give me room to move it about a bit. I was just sitting here tending to my line, and look what we have over here. He just popped his head out, and I was almost thinking I might just crawl out onto this log. Sort of makes you think twice. and I was just eyeing that log off. I was thinking I might crawl out on that log and throw a line in, because my line over here is actually gone a bit quiet. It's been about 5 minutes since I got that yabbie and nothing else, which sort of doesn't fill me with confidence for these traps. But I think we'll wait for it to warm up a bit. I've got a couple of jobs to go and take care of. We'll head off, check these traps. I'm going to go in checking these traps filled with confidence. I'm going to give you a look how confident I am. And there's a dirty big mosquito just landed on me. Mosquitoes are coming out normally means the yabbies are coming out. If it's warm enough for mozzies, warm enough for yabbies. So this is how confident I am. I've brung the cooker down just because. Can you think of an absolute better spot to cook them up than right beside the billabong? It's absolutely beautiful down here. Blowing a bloody gale out there where it's open. Absolutely just nice little breeze in here. It's green, it's not too hot. And I didn't even bring a bucket with me, because you know what's going to happen. I'm just going to walk along, checking these traps, filling me pot as I go. Sounds like a plan. Let's go and see if it's going to work. We've got to get these traps checked before that water boils away. Oh no! Don't tell me. Oh, that doesn't fill me with confidence. Don't tell me this one little yabbie's the only bit of a snack we're going to get all day. Because I only had a very light lunch. I was sort of banking on getting a few yabbies. I thought I had a trap there. It must be just up here somewhere. Here. Come on, come on. I wanted at least a few. At least a half a dozen. At least a half a dozen. Oh, nothing again. This is starting to look sad. I'm starting to get a little bit worried. And you know what I've done? You should be able to make it out there. That's my pot. I'm actually going to leave that behind. It might be a bad omen. And I think what we're going to do, we're going to go right down to the end and get there's 3 more traps. We'll go down the end and work back. I'm going to have a change of tactic because after getting that one on the line earlier, I really thought we'd have a few in them traps. It's not looking good. And this is the trap that we set a little bit differently. We actually set him in nice and shallow. So hopefully, absolutely nothing again. Kidding me? Surely this one's got to be the lucky trap. This one here is the one right next to this dirty big yabbie hole. And it's sort of odd where that's built. I'm not even 100% sure whether that is a yabbie hole. I'm almost certain it is, but it's just odd that it's built above the waterline. Oh, this one feels heavy. Feels heavy. I don't know why, because it's empty. Oh no. We're up to the lucky last trap. Hopefully it's lucky. We want at least one mate for our little swimming buddy. Absolutely nothing again. Not a shrimp or a fish or even a sign that there was a yabbie in there. Well, that was a bit sad. I honestly thought we would have at least got a couple out of each trap. The only thing I can think of is it's still a little bit cold. I'd probably better off going to those little puddles like that because the water's probably actually a little bit warmer. I could say one thing for sure, they're not out in this hole yet. We've got our giant feast of yabbies cooking. I don't know how I'm going to eat all them, but we're going to have a crack at it later. In the meantime, I just thought I'd stop and take a couple of minutes out of my day, shows this big tree. Absolute beauty. There's actually a big hollow. Oh, watch out, because there's a big spider there. There's a big hollow. I don't know what's in there. I'll give you a look. I won't be able to see until I get home and put it on the computer. I'll probably check that later and be a big brown snake sitting right up there into the camera. About to bite my arm off. We've got our giant feast here ready to go. All cooked up, cooled down. Absolutely perfect little specimen. He's not even a huge yabbie. But just think about this for a second. I put in the effort. So if you watched this far and haven't already, hit the subscribe button for me. Hit the like button. And one thing that I can guarantee you, the season can only get better from here. If it gets any worse, we're going to be in trouble. Anyway, we'll just enjoy our little morsel of goodness. And I was going to have just a plain feast today. I didn't bring anything but water. I was going to boil them up, which I did. Boiled one up. And I was just going to have a nice little feed down by the billabong. I was going to fill my pot right up. I had big plans. As we know, big plans don't always work out, as we've just seen. And the nippers are not even really full of meat. Little tiny bit of nipper meat. Best bit. And I'm going to eat the whole bloody thing, even if he's not real big. And it was lucky that I pulled into that little hole. That is bloody sad. Look at that. That is a sad. His nipper's nowhere near even full. That's a bit of nipper meat. And I got a bit of shell in there with it. Oh well. Can't win them all the time. And like I said, can only get better from here. Catch you on the next one.